In the Kupiansk direction, the enemy continued with the onset of the new year its attempts to break through from the north towards Sinkiivka and Petropavlivka. The enemy has been attacking the AFU's forward units in the Kupiansk direction for more than 2 months, but for all this time it was only able to take control of a part of the forest south of Liman Pershi. And that was achieved only by stopping the offensive in the direction of Borova and moving part of the forces from there. From all the directions where the enemy went on the offensive with the onset of the fall-winter period, it is the Kupiansk direction that remains the least productive for the enemy in terms of losses results. And it looks a bit strange, because it is here that the troops of the most powerful and exclusive army of the land forces of Russia, the 1st Guards Tank Army, reinforced by the main forces of the 6th Panzer Army, are operating. There is no tank formation of this scale in any armed forces of the world. It includes 2 of Russia's 3 full-fledged tank divisions, as well as a motorized rifle division of ground forces and a motorized rifle brigade. Despite this formidable force, supported by artillery, for a month now, they have been trying to break through to the outskirts of the left bank part of the Oskil River. The Ukrainian defense forces opposing this prevailing force, both in terms of manpower and the number of main types and samples of weapons and military equipment, have simply nullified all their attempts. The AFU did not create Zaluzhny lines here, did not organize mine sowing with prohibitive density, and do not even have an advantage in the air. But months pass, and the enemy is still trying to capture Sinkiivka. Also, the enemy continues to reinforce its Kursk and Belgorod troop groups at the expense of the forces of the West Group deployed in the Kupiansk direction. Obviously, the enemy has pulled to Kharkiv and Sumy direction a part of its forces and means in addition to those already deployed. Currently, we are talking only about platoons, battalions, and batteries, no more. These maneuvers began as early as January 4th and 5th and may well be an element of the so-called operational game. However, making clear conclusions regarding the content of this intricate plan, which is evidently implemented by the command of the West Group, will only be possible after some time, when these unclear maneuvers end, and the extent of the forces and resources that the adversary will move to the composition of the Kursk and Belgorod troop groups, becomes more or less clear. In fact, at the moment it all looks rather silly. Movement of up to 5,000 personnel for replenishment from the training grounds of Kursk region, to the north of the occupied Lugansk region of Ukraine, and simultaneous movement from there in the opposite direction, to the same Kursk region, of units and subdivisions, seems even from the point of view of logic and adequacy, not quite expedient. Who and what the Russian command wants to convince in such an uncomplicated way, one can only guess. Maybe it is really so intended, but from the outside it all looks like an act of operational onanism. I'm going on a long business trip in a few days and unfortunately new videos will be released less frequently. I hope for your understanding.